So I was going to teach you this next, but I'll teach it to you now. So it goes like this. Stand up. Take one hand, and we're going to count to 8, shaking it, and then we're going to shake the other hand to 8, and then the foot to 8, and then the other foot to 8, and then 4, and then 2, and then 1. You'll catch on. Ready? You also got to own it. Okay? Great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. There. All right. I'll teach what that's about in a minute. Okay. So I'm here tonight because I'm an education nerd, and I am really concerned about the direction of education in this country. And I should say up front, I am a teacher. I teach 3rd and 4th grade at Odyssey, which is pretty much my dream job. It's kind of the best job in the world, I think. I teach in a great place, in a great program, with fantastic colleagues. And I also want to say, I'm not here to criticize teachers or the Bainbridge Island School District in any way. I mean, the fact is we live in an amazing place with amazing schools and amazing teachers. That being said, when it comes to American education, I feel a lot like the scene from Trains, Planes, and Automobiles. So maybe you've seen the movie. John Candy, Steve Martin are driving down the road. It's dark. They're in the car. They don't know it, but 2 semi-trucks are heading straight for them because they're on the other side of the highway. And a nice couple drives up the other side of the median, and he rolls down his window, and the husband and wife yell out the window, John Candy and Steve Martin go, "Hey, you're going the wrong way!" That's kind of how I feel about American education. You know, to me, I did a Google search just like everyone else here, and the anxiety rates in kids these days, it's an epidemic. And so I just feel like we're going the wrong way. So to me as a teacher, it comes back to a really simple but not so simple question, which is, what is it that we want for our kids? And if you ask most parents, what is it you want for your kid, most parents would answer, happiness. They want them to be happy. Or some parents would say successful, happy and successful. Or a happy, successful adult. That's what we're hoping for. But what is that? What is happy? What is successful? And it gets even more complicated if you ask people, what is school for? Because most people will say, well, school is to prepare you to go out and get a good job. Why do you do well in math? So you can get a good job. Why do you do well in reading? Because someday, in that good job you're going to have to read things and communicate. Why do you do well in high school? So you can graduate high school to go to college to get a good job. But wait a minute. Never mind the fact that we're asking many, many kids to be miserable for years before they get to that end part. A thing they don't even know. What does that mean to have a good job as an adult? I'm just a kid. And so we're asking them to go through this whole process where many kids are bored and miserable to this end game of this possibility of a good job. So it kind of makes me think of this idea of there's a Zen story that says all Zen instruction is like a finger pointing at the moon. You don't look at the finger and think you're getting somewhere. That makes me think about all this, because if you scratch a little bit below the surface of what is it, why do we want kids to go out and get a good job, it's because we want them to be happy. So as a teacher, I'm wondering, is there a way I can cut out the middleman and go straight for the moon, for the happiness part? I mean, is there a way that I could help teach kids not just to get a good job so they could someday be happy, but maybe I could teach them, what is happiness now? What is it like to be happy now? So anxiety, all these things we've talked about, I just feel like somehow we're going the wrong way. And by the way, I should also address this. Does a good job actually lead to happiness? Or is it maybe just happy people find jobs that are good for them? Maybe we're aiming at the wrong thing entirely in this country. So if I'm going to teach happiness, what is it that I'm going to do? So, of course, do the interweb. Figure this out, right? Of course, it's been studied, naturally. Martin Seligman, who was mentioned before, the founder or grandfather, I guess, of positive psychology, broke it down into 5 elements. He said, people who are happy have these things, and he called them PERMA, which was great for me, because as a teacher, I love TLAs, 3-letter acronyms. So, took a moment. So, PERMA stands for positive attitude. That's the P. E, which is engagement, which as a teacher I always think of as curiosity. R is positive relationships. Compassion is how I think of that. M, which is meaning, what I think of as having moments of meaning, mindfulness, those moments of mindfulness where it's like, oh, this means something to me. And then the A is achievement. And then other people have added to that, and people have added things like gratitude and love of learning. So as a teacher, I thought, okay, so if I could teach that part, as long as I'm also, I have to teach some of this too, but if I could teach that part, then I'm probably going in the right direction. So to that end, I incorporated 2 core routines that I learned at the Wilderness Awareness School in Duval, and they're called Flow and Sit Spot. So I'll teach you those now. So we do Flow daily. And by the way, I told my students I was going to come and tell a bunch of adults about the secrets of Flow and Sit Spot. And they went, you're what? Why would they care? And I said, well, because, these are really powerful things, and they need to know the secrets of these things. And they said, what are the secrets? And I said, you tell me. And they told me. So by the end of this, you'll know too. So here's how Flow works. So we sit in a circle, which we can't do. And we have to thumb in. So it's how you feeling? Now, here's the deal. At Odyssey, where I teach, we never do a thumb down. That's checkout. I'm done. So it's here. Here is, I'm working on it. I'm not great. And this is for everything, by the way, too. How you feeling about that math? I'm here. Okay, great. How you feeling about your writing assignment? I did it. I'm there. So here's your barometer. So how you feeling physically? You got a thumb in. And my kids all ante up, by the way. We put our thumbs in because this is our way we check in with each other. We look at each other and go, oh, okay. Wait, so-and-so's got a thumb sideways. What's that about? So we're checking in with each other. And then we say, how you feeling emotionally? How you feeling mentally? So thumb in or thumb sideways or somewhere in between. How you feeling? Come on, ante up. Let's see the thumbs. I'm looking for them. Great. And then we share. So it might sound like, well, my thumb's sideways because that last talk was about depression, and man, I'm feeling like that was a lot. That's really heavy. Or my thumb's up because we just did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I feel pretty good right now. So how you feeling? Somebody want to share? Come on. 8, 9, and 10-year-olds can do this. Yeah.
I volunteered to help at a memorial service today. And it felt really good.
Great. Excellent. Yeah. Fantastic. Anybody else?
I worked outside all day in the yard, and I felt fantastic.
Yeah.
I got a babysitter tonight.
And this is date night for my wife and I, so we're... Somebody else? Yeah.
I'm super frustrated because I'm trying to listen to you and my teenager keeps bugging me on the phone.
That happens. So that's the first part. We check in with each other. So if you're thinking PERMA, there's our positive relationships. We are actively checking in with the community. How are you doing? And it's our time too. Like the kids came back from PE today and it was a lot of this. So we took a moment. Okay, what is going on? Kids we're cheating in PE. All right, well, let's talk about it. Let's figure this out. And what that led to was this great moment where we've talked a lot about I messages, which, I feel this because of that. And the kids have gotten pretty good at that. And so I said, well, do you need to make some I messages? And I was like, yes. I said, well, go find someone and go have a private conversation. So kids literally just went around the circle and you, come with me, let's go this way. And they walked over in the room and they had a little conversation. Then they came back. They had their little I. And I'll tell you, we moved on from there. Something that could have sat with us for days and could have festered in there where kids were not getting along with each other because days ago there was some issue of PE, we worked it out. Because that's what people do. That's what healthy people do. People who are coming for the moon, right? We're not just, I'll come back to that. So, okay, so that's first. Second, we stretch, which we did. So our quick one when we're short on time is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Which the kids love, and there's lots of others. And then the last thing we do is somebody shares what they're grateful for. And here's how it works. Somebody says, I'm really feeling really grateful for this. I'm wondering if anybody else is too. And if other people are feeling grateful for it, they raise their hand. And if it doesn't resonate, they just listen. And we don't interrupt at this time. It's a way of sharing with each other. So I'll do that now. So I am feeling really grateful that as a teacher I get to know these fantastic kids that enliven and enrich in my life. So who else out there is grateful for kids in their lives? And one of those kids is who I taught as a 3rd grader is babysitting my 5-year-old today, and I know I can trust her because I've known her so long. So I'm feeling grateful for those long connections we have in this great community we live in. So anybody else feeling grateful for those long connections? And I'm not a rain person, but today I was feeling really grateful for the rain. It felt really good and cleansing, and the wind was coming through. I was like, oh yeah, that's the wind again. So anybody else out there thankful for the rain and the wind? Yeah. I love those windy days. I don't know about you. And my wife could come tonight, and she supports me in not only teaching, but I do a lot of crazy things outside of school, and so I'm feeling grateful for my wife. So who else out there is grateful for their partners? Great, thanks. So that's flow. We do that every day. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes. I don't run it every day. I start, I set the baseline, kids then run it, and they love it. Can I do grateful? Can I do thankfulness? Can I do thumb check-in? Can I do stretches? And they run it. And when I'm gone, when we have a guest teacher, I just say flow. Kids will figure it out. That's my sub-plan. And they go, okay, you're going to do that. Who's going to do that? And they know. It takes about 15 minutes. The other thing we do, and we do this about once a month, twice a month when it's nice. Last year we stopped because it rained for so long. We do sit spot. So sit spot is... it's kind of like, it is exactly what it says. It's sort of like stir fry in that way. Stir fry, it's the only food where the instructions are the name. You really can't mess it up. Okay, anyway, so sit spot. Kids literally go to the woods, and we've been using the Sakai property. So if you voted for that, thank you. And even if you didn't, your taxes are going to it anyway. So the Sakai Park, so thank you for that. It's right across the street from Odyssey. We go there. And the kids bring their inquiry notebooks, and they sit. And the way Sit Spot works is you sit by yourself in a natural setting, and you write and draw about what you're seeing and thinking about. So that's what they do. Those are the instructions. So the kids are around, and I'm there, and I kind of walk the path. And if there's an emergency, kids let me know, and there very rarely is. And they sit with their writing notebooks, and they write and draw about what they're seeing, and they ask questions. They write those questions. And I walk through and they say, what's this tree? And I say, that's a good question, write it down. Or I go by and I say, hey, you don't have any pictures yet. Write a picture with some labels. And they do that. They sit and write, and they wonder, and they go, what is that? And then later on, I encourage them to find the answers to that. And so there's engagement, and there's mindfulness in that moment of being calm rooted in nature. And there's accomplishment when they've become experts. Last year I had kids become experts on thatching ants. We have no fire ants in Washington. I did not know this until I was taught this by a fourth grader. They became experts in big leaf maple and Douglas fir and alder. Charlie, what was yours? I'm going to totally call you out. Yeah.
Evergreen huckleberry.
Evergreen huckleberry. Yeah, great. He became an expert. He was our evergreen huckleberry guy. There were a couple other kids too. And I have a very vivid, I'm going to call you out, Charlie. I have a very vivid picture of where Charlie sat with his evergreen. Is it still there? Great. Because Sakai property has changed as they've started to redevelop the park. And that sense of connection is so powerful with these kids. They love it. When I tell them we're going to do Sit Spot next week, they're like, yeah, when are we going to do it again? When are we going again? And they're ready to go. They love going. And they crave it. And we get there, and it's like you take these 25 pack of wolves, right? These puppy dogs, and they disperse into the woods. And then it's silent. It's quiet. And they're drawing and writing. And then we do this thing where I do a little wolf howl, and they wolf howl back. And then we all gather in a pack, and they go, oh my God, I found a bee. I found a bee, and it's in a spider web. Look at this bee in a spider web. We go, wow, there's a bee in a spider web. And then we start asking, how strong are spider webs? How can a spider catch a bee? Like, what? How crazy is that? What is that? Oh my gosh, I saw this plant and it had all these thorns, and I thought it was from this tree, but I don't know if it's from this tree because it's just hanging off this tree. And which is how I spend most of my day. Yeah, okay. So that's flow and sit spot. So what are those things getting? Well, so PERMA, right? Positive attitude. Engagement. Relationship, not just with each other in flow, but with the world around them. Meaning. And a sense of accomplishment, gratitude. Love of learning. I'm a teacher. I teach reading, I teach writing. I'm supposed to be driven by data. I'm supposed to show improvement with my students. But I have a confession to make tonight, if you don't tell anybody else. I have no idea what the outcome of this is. I do not know. To use a wholly mercantile metaphor, it is like I am putting money in a long-term investment, and I do not know what the payoff is. But I will tell you this. I have incredibly kind, thoughtful students who are curious about the world and love coming to the school. And I have kids who go away on vacation and do Sit Spot. They come back and they go, I did Sit Spot in Florida, and you know, they have really different trees down there. That's what the student wanted to tell me about, not Disney. They wanted to tell me about Sit Spot. To me, that means something. So, yes, I'm going to teach all that other stuff. But I hope by teaching flow, and I hope by teaching Sit Spot, I'm aiming for the moon and not just for the finger. I hope that what I'm doing with students is not just teaching them about financial fulfillment, but self-fulfillment. And I'm not alone. Teachers across the country are making this change now. And the Bainbridge Island School District is working right now to work with something called the 40 Developmental Assets, which is something that's been around for a while, but is a great way of looking at healthy people to say, what are the pieces that make healthy folks, healthy people? So I'm going to leave you tonight with a challenge. So here's my challenge to you. If you agree with me, if you agree somehow that perhaps happiness is more important than this job finger that might be pointing at it, then how can you cultivate that in your life? How can you take moments in your life to not just feel gratitude, but to express gratitude to the people around you? How can you take moments to check in with your community, to say, how are you doing? Not just how you doing. How can you take that time with the young people in your life, your grandkids, your kids, your nieces and nephews, your students if you have them, your neighbors' kids, and look at what does it mean to be happy now? Is there a different way that we could be educating kids? We don't just push them to excel. Maybe instead we follow the true meaning of education, which is to lead out of darkness. Can we take our time at school? Yeah, we're going to teach them reading, writing, math. That's important. But can we also teach them that there's an unfolding that happens? And in that unfolding is beauty. And that beauty and unfolding is happening now. Thank you.